We are quite keen from a license perspective to work with regulators to deem and acquire licenses where we require. So this is definitely something we're moving forward with.
Chair Gensler refused to answer questions about the SEC's classification of Ether, and new court filings show this was an intentional attempt to misrepresent the Commission's position.
We speak to Congress directly in hearings like that. And
we actually came in, we went through a 16-month process with the SEC staff trying to register a special purpose broker-dealer. And then we were pretty summarily told in March that process was over and we would not see any fruits of that effort.
So where the industry is at the moment is on-off exchange settlement or off-venue settlement, to use the wider perspective, which effectively means your assets are still within the custodian, safe, secure, regulated, etc. But
when we don't understand how economies work anymore, that's 6 years to make as much money as possible or get ourselves positioned.
In many countries, cash use is dwindling. Fast payment systems allow transactions to settle instantly and on a 24/7 basis.
And that's exponentially true for Tether. Tether claims to have some sort of audit, but it's essentially a satellite snapshot of a days of its events. What is so hard about auditing Tether?
Today with Stronghold's groundbreaking move, our acquisition of 2022 Labs.
Know what you hold?
Enjoy the ride, pal.
It's the XRP Army.
If you got some baggies, welcome to the party. Welcome back to some more Moon o'clock news. No breakfast, no coffee, just straight extra bullishness. Shout out to the latest sub. Appreciate you stopping by, tuning in, smashing them likies, stuffing some baggies. Go ahead, throw on those moon suits, throw on those pilot shades, buckle up, cause the future's extra bullish. Let's go full speed, full throttle into the cryptoverse. Got the total global cryptocurrency market cap today at 2.45 trillion, down about 0.3% in the past 24. We got XRP in that number 7 spot, currently right around 54 cents. We got Stellar XLM right around 11 cents. BTC 63K. ETH right around 3K. We got Flare Networks right around 3 cents. Axelar $1.23. XDC right around 0.036. Songbird 009. Stronghold 007. And we got Zahao right around 16.5 cents. Evernode 26 cents. We got one from Ripple to pop things off, ready to build a future with global impact. Explore our open roles now. Software engineer, internal communications manager, director of finance systems. Ripple still hiring. We got one from Bank XRP, Ripple Reese Merrick. The DFSA approved XRP as a digital asset to be utilized by businesses within the DIFC regime.
Around the same time, the back end of November, the DFSA actually approved XRP as a digital asset that could be utilized by businesses within the DIFC regime. So, that's a huge step for us in just firstly providing that clarity on XRP in the region. What I would say is VARA, obviously a standalone regulator in the region, are doing, fantastic things as well. Ripple itself have been in the DIFC since 2020. We're very happy here. We are quite keen from a license perspective to work with regulators to deem and acquire licenses where we require. So this is definitely something we're moving forward with. But I would say more to come on this space as it relates directly to the Middle East, Waleed.
We got digital asset investor, says all due respect, Patrick Manhenry, but is this what it looks like when an SEC chairman lies to your face and Congress laughs at you on Squawk, CNBC?
Lying in court, new evidence shows that Chair Gary Gensler himself misled Congress. The testimony to the Financial Services Committee last April, Chair Gensler refused to answer questions about the SEC's classification of Ether, and new court filings show this was an intentional attempt to misrepresent the Commission's position.
We speak to Congress directly in hearings like that and also directly to members, and we share with them accurately what we're doing so that the viewers can also understand we don't speak about whether we have an investigation or whether we don't have an investigation, and we don't speak about whether somebody is, in our opinion, not following the law unless we actually bring a case. So we stay quiet on many questions that you might ask at this live interview or even
but ultimately should investors,
congressional hearing.
There's a lot of folks who bought Ethereum expecting that one day there will be potentially an ETF and that it will be considered a genuine security that's tradable on these exchanges. Will that happen?
Again, that's something in front of our commission right now. We're a 5-member commission, and those filings will take up at the appropriate time.
Is that something from a timing perspective, though? This is an election year. This administration may be the administration come next year. It may not be the administration. How does that impact the work you're doing?
I'm just focused on how we can do the most for 330 million Americans, what we can do to drive efficiency, resiliency, competition in the equity markets, the treasury markets, the fixed income markets, and yes, also addressing some of the activity in the crypto markets where actors are not uniformly following the law. They just, there's a lot of people have lost their hard-earned funds in the field that you seem to be so fascinated.
Okay, I'm going to go.
We got Rob Cunningham, cool show. Chair Gensler, point of order. Gary, you still there? We had XRP drops the chief legal compliance and corporate affairs of Robinhood Markets, a former SEC employee, shows how misleading the SEC operates.
Remind you of some things that have happened in the past. This is Robinhood talking a little bit more about their position. And this is coming from a former SEC individual. Listen in.
I've worked in the financial services industry for over 25 years and served as a commissioner of the United States Securities and Exchange Commission and as deputy director of the SEC's Division of Trading and Markets. We offer 18 digital assets compared to hundreds on other platforms. We don't offer yield-generating products like staking or lending. And Robinhood Markets is a publicly traded company subject to SEC disclosure rules, and we operate two highly regulated, registered subsidiary broker-dealers.
Couldn't you simply offer those tokens through your SEC-registered broker-dealer?
It's a very, very telling question. The answer is no. There are a few coins that have been noted in recent SEC complaints that we do trade on our platform. You would think with a major broker-dealer sitting on the other side of our house, our primary business, we could simply say, okay, SEC, you've just said these are securities. I'm going to go trade them on my broker now. It's impossible without regulatory relief and infrastructure changes in the securities markets. When Chair Gensler at the SEC in 2021 said, come in and register, we did. We actually came in. We went through a 16-month process with the SEC staff trying to register a special purpose broker-dealer. And then we were pretty summarily told in March that process was over and we would not see any fruits of that effort.
And just for the record, what is the status of your registration effort presently?
I believe it's the technical term would be DOA.
So as you can see, this, of course, is Robinhood. They've gone by the rules of the road. And I think they've also aligned themselves in a very good position, possibly a better position, maybe even more so than Coinbase. So for this to happen to them, a Wells notice, just shows the kind of scenario that we've talked about many times, and that is government overreach that continues to be part of the narrative that's coming out of the SEC.
We got one from XRP drops Ripple Partners Zodiac Custody on the evolution of custody type services. I think we're in a stage where we're the third generation. What does the fourth generation look like?
I think the way I look at it, if I just take a step back, is I think we're in the stage where we're the third generation of custody type services. So if you just forgive me for 30 seconds, I think stage one was an exchange that had some custody and it was all within, a walled garden effectively. And we all know what happened with FTX as an example. Then we had a number of custodians that were standalone, and there were a number of exchanges that used that. But you still got counterparty risk. You still have to do pre-funding, etc. So where the industry is at the moment is on-off exchange settlement or off-venue settlement, to use the wider perspective, which effectively means your assets are still within the custodian, safe, secure, regulated, etc. But the exchanges can go and trade on it, and therefore you're changing your risk profile, your operational risk, etc. That's all well and good, and probably most of you understand that far better than I do. I think the bit that I think is super interesting is, what does the fourth generation look like? Where do we need to get to? And that is where we have interoperability. And that is where you've got many exchanges or many venues talking to many custodians. Because while we would all like all the assets to be with Zodia, I'm sure Susanna would like some of the assets to be with her. And actually what happens in TradFi is you have multiple custodians. That may be for asset types, it may be for risk management, it may be for geographical reasons. So that is super important, that a client is going to have multi-custodians and will want to trade across multi-venues. And likewise, venues will want to trade and want to be able to store their assets. So I think this is where it gets really interesting, is instead of these one-to-one between an exchange and a custodian for off-exchange settlement, you're now going to have to get many-to-many. And that's where middleware comes in, or a clearing house like Clear Token and various other initiatives that are happening around the world. That then will transform a lot of the accessibility to the venues, but also to the custodians as well. And so I think that is where we will evolve. I think the number of custodians are going to significantly reduce. I think a number of the exchanges will significantly reduce. And the more interesting part, I think, is where you get the venues coming in, which are doing something very particular for clients. It's a bit of a long answer, but I think it's that many to many, which I think is going to be super interesting for the industry.
We got another one from XRP Drops. Raw Powell. We have 6 years to make as much money as possible. Load up. But you still have some time.
6 years. 6 years until the economic singularity. When we don't understand how economies work anymore, that's 6 years to make as much money as possible or get ourselves positioned. When AI and robotics change the entire formula for GDP, we have 6 years.
We got Andrew X. We're entering a period of rapid innovation, from smartphones to smart TVs, smart appliances, smart houses, smart city infrastructure, and now smart money. August and Carson's BIS.
The theme of this year's summit, Navigating Rapid Innovation, could not be timelier. Facts speak for themselves. Netflix needed 3.5 years to reach 1 million subscribers. Spotify reached that number in 5 months. ChatGPT in 5 days. Threads needed only 1 hour. All these innovative digital platforms created opportunities that didn't exist before. When the first smartphones appeared, nobody could have predicted the million of apps that exist today. The platform had to exist first. Smartwatches, wireless headsets, and streaming video from a phone into a TV would not exist today without the Bluetooth technology that was developed in the mid-90s. However, the acceleration of adoption that I just mentioned changes the impact that innovation has on societies, sometimes in unpredictable ways. Sometimes it is for good. Today we see glimpses of this level of technological change in the financial system. In many countries, cash use is dwindling. Fast payment systems allow transactions to settle instantly and on a 24/7 basis. In some emerging market and developing economies, digital identity systems have made it easier and cheaper for people to open bank accounts and access the financial system.
We have one from Subject Views. Tether audit anyone? Former SEC Gov Office of Internet Enforcement Chief calls for Tether to be audited.
That brings me to crypto, Mr. Stark. You mentioned in your testimony that crypto has evolved into a killer app for criminals. I don't think you said it's evolved into a killer app for investors. I've got some similar concerns, especially with respect to Tether and some of the reports that, as a stable coin, it's helping to fund Russia's war machine. The overwhelming majority of the crypto funding that Hamas has used has been through Tether and the Tron network. I wonder if you'd comment on how you would suggest we address Tether, and then specifically how we should think about anti-money laundering provisions and mixers in any stablecoin legislation.
I think you raise a great point about Tether, and you talk about it in the context of audits. You mentioned how important audits are when it comes to any sort of investment. And when you ask the question, would you ever invest in a company that was being audited by an auditor I'd never heard of, or wasn't or was somehow not a great auditing firm? Of course I wouldn't. And that's exponentially true for Tether. Tether claims to have some sort of audit, but it's essentially a satellite snapshot of a days of its events. What is so hard about auditing Tether that they can't? And this is a critical part of every single crypto investment. And they've been saying for years, we're going to get an audit, but they haven't. What would be so hard? Any of us on this panel could conduct that audit. You're just going to look and see whether the tethers are actually backed by real U.S. Securities of some sort.
So I'm almost out of time, but I just want to flag myself and Mr. Sherman, Mr. Foster, Mr. Cleaver introducing a bill this week specifically to clamp down on mixers and to say that until we've studied and have a...
Is Tether the last domino to collapse before regulations kick in and utility coins kick in? XRP Ripple stablecoin take over. We got Mr. Man XRP Stronghold Pay SHX purchased 222 labs to further their business. Let's go. Stronghold says big news. We've acquired 222 labs, pioneers in ISO 20022, revolutionizing global financial messaging compliance. With this asset, we're better equipped than ever to assist businesses with global money movements.
In a world where every financial transaction you make is not just faster, but smarter. That world starts today with Stronghold's groundbreaking move, our acquisition of 20022 Labs. Hi, everyone. I'm Tammy Camp, CEO of Stronghold. 20022 Labs is not just any company. They are pioneers in the ISO 20022 standard, a global framework that is reshaping how financial messages are processed worldwide. This acquisition is designed to integrate and leverage 20022 Labs' extensive knowledge and research in financial messaging standards. It will enhance the functionality of our payments platform and our expansive network, StrongholdNet. For our customers and partners, these enhancements will streamline financial operations and introduce a new level of efficiency and interoperability in our financial services. With ISO 20022, we can now process transactions that not only move money, but also convey complete and precise data about those transactions. This reduces the need for manual intervention, drastically reduces errors, and lowers operational costs. For our customers, this means faster, clearer, and more reliable financial transactions. Every payment becomes a building block for more informed and strategic business decisions. This is about making your financial operations as efficient as possible, which in turn will significantly boost your bottom line.
Stellar.org on June 18, 2024, Stellar Public Network validators will vote on the Protocol 21 upgrade. Get ready for potential game-changing features like passkey signing support and cost improvements for smart contract transactions. Learn more at the blog announcing Protocol 21. We got Flare Networks. Well-designed incentives can spark public interest and drive long-term value. Flare prioritizes the community with 58.3% allocated to Flare drops and the ecosystem growth. In addition, voting and network fees use Flare for FTSO delegation, staking, and collateral on the Flare dApps for extra rewards. We got Descent Wallace discovered DeepIn, a new era in physical infrastructure where tokens drive decentralized networks. Learn how token economics and key projects are shaping a scalable, cost-effective future. DeepIn blockchain AI. We got Descent Wallets, the most easy and safe hardware wallet. Links down below. Get yourself the single pack or the double pack with the Bagman discount. We got uncompromising security designed for one-hand use. Fuel your portfolio. Crypto-empowered. Native support for all assets. Up to 80 addresses. Descent Wallet, effortless navigation, instant transaction approval, spacious display, secure Bluetooth connectivity, security measures, encrypted storage, certified secure chip, firmware authenticity, and biometric sensor. Hit the link down below. Descent Wallet, not your keys, not your crypto. Your best and most easy, safe hardware wallet. And we got Egg Crypto XRP 589, not the title hook, but calculated move. The Atlas line has been holding XRP price since March 2020, as indicated by the 9 strong yellow circle touch points. White triangle, if XRP breaks out to the upside, then $1.50 is the measured move, marking the beginning of a significant macro breakout, coinciding around the Fib .786. Blue triangle, measured move breakout could potentially propel price to 589, coinciding around the Fib 1.618. With that being said, Batman and Bag Ladies, the best is still yet to come. Let a friend know this is the greatest opportunity of multiple lifetimes. It's still at hand, but the train's left the station. Tick tock, where will those bags be when that regulation jar of molasses finally breaks open and XRP's true price is finally revealed? Big bags, play the glitches.
Pump it up, pump it up. Pump it up, gotta pump my bags up. Pump it to the moon, pump my bags up. XRP, pump it to the moon. Pump it up, pump my bags up. Pump it up, gotta pump my bags up. Pump it up, gotta pump my bags up. Pump it up, XRP to the moon. Pump it up, pump it up. Pump it up, gotta pump my